McHale who gets the catch. He's got patrol.
We welcome you to White Bear Lake High School. Girls lacrosse, Woodbury and White Bear Lake. Just about to get started, so we're going to get into the introduction to the game as we go along, as they are at center field, ready for face-off to get things going. Woodbury in the blue with the white numbers, White Bear Lake in the home white. And we are ready to go. Opening face-off blown dead, as it was scooped up initially by Riley Daw of White Bear Lake, so we will come back and do it again. Little cool this evening. Sun breaking through slightly on this April evening. We are officially underway as it's controlled by Carly Tooman of Woodbury. Tooman with the ball will carry it into the White Bear Lake offensive zone, then slow it down as the Royals will settle. Just underway in the game, 20 seconds in. Royals with the ball behind the White Bear Lake net. White Bear Lake has won 3 in a row over the Royals and 8 of the last 9. White Bear Lake possessing the ball for the first time. They will advance the ball out of their own territory. Good press defense is forced to spin out as Abigail Franta still trying to work her way through. Now she lobs it across the midfield line for Natasha Larson. Larson speeds ahead into the Woodbury zone as the lights slowly coming on here at the White Bear Lake High School South Campus. Larson will slowly work the ball behind the Royals net. Now Larson starting to make a move. Backs down, drops it off for Daw. Trying to set up with Sophie Davis. Davis forced to back out. Good defense from the Royals. Nice centering feed out front and a shot, they score. The early goal for Beverly Peterson. And the Bears have a 1-0 lead. Coming about a minute and 39 seconds into the game. Is the Woodbury goaltender Peyton Feigl. Well, the great centering feed. Peterson able to lob it over the right shoulder of the goaltender Feigl to give the Bears a 2-0
goal
lead.
scored by number 3, Bev Peterson.
Oh, Bev Peterson.
Scoring at 1:39 for the Bears.
Bears have played 3 games. They're 1-2 coming off their first win. They defeated Bloomington Kennedy by a score of 20-4. This is the first game action for the Royals this season. Off the face-off, Woodbury able to punch it ahead, but the whistle blows as it was poked ahead by Olivia Mishikoff. Mishikoff will come back a little ways, and we are back underway. Lob pass out of reach. She was trying to drop it down on the near side. The Bears will get set up deep in their own territory with it off the inbound play. The whistle blows along the near side as Davis was about to scoop up the ball. Royals on the attack, trying to drive her way in. The whistle blows as Ella Kodal was working her way toward the net. Thanks for joining us on SCC TV tonight. I'm Patrick Willia. On behalf of our entire crew, as you see the foul in front of the net. Kodal will set up for her run at the net. She works her way in, a shot and a nice save by the White Bear Lake goaltender. Woodbury, though, able to maintain possession. Kaylee Clues in goal for the Bears this evening is Maggie McCarthy with the ball for Woodbury. Off the resumption of play as the ball punched wide of the net. Just over 3.5 minutes into the game, the Royals with the ball deep in the White Bear Lake attacking zone. Clues ends up with the ball. She'll drop it off, and the Bears will set up deep in their own end. They got the early goal from Bev Peterson. They have a 1-0 lead. We just passed the 4-minute mark of the first half. Lob pass intercepted. The Royals working it back in through the middle. Driving her way toward the net is McCarthy, and she scores. Maggie McCarthy ties the game up at 1.
Every single one of you are chasing and swinging.
That came at the 4:21 mark of the first half. Looking back to center field for the face-off.
Woodbury goal.
Woodbury 1 and White Bear Lake 1.
Scoring at 4:21 of the period.
Face-off controlled by White Bear Lake as it's worked ahead by Peterson. Excuse me, that was Davis. And now taken away by Woodbury. Loose ball on the carpet. Scooped up by Woodbury along the near side with it. Pass ahead, the ball loose at midfield. The Bears able to pick it up. Shannon Furlong will slow it down. Bears carry it deep into the Royal zone and will settle. We approach the 5-minute mark of the first half. The Bears won and the Royals won. Bears set up with Jada Jensen. Daw drops it off. Going to spin her way, then forced to back out. Loose ball. Able to be controlled, though, by the Bears with Jensen. Peterson on a little give and go, trying to spin her way through is Davis, and she's forced to back out. Good defense by the Royals once again in front of their own net. Davis still with the ball. Davis dancing, trying to look for something.
Not so far, Megan, not so far.
Davis gives off for Kaylin Kunze. Centering feed for Davis with a shot blocked in front of the net. Good long stick usage by the Royals in front of the net. Woodbury will take possession of it behind their own net. Speeding through is Tooman. Tooman across midfield with it, where she lobs it off there. Able to get it ahead for Kodal. Kodal working her way in. Royals will now settle in the offensive zone. They'll work the ball around the White Bear Lake net. Lobbed over for Mishikoff. Mishikov's errant pass, trying to get it to Bella Trujillo. Kodal with it. Kodal trying to work her way in on the near side of the net. Good defense by the Bears as she works her way around. Centering feed, a collision in front of the net, jars the ball loose. But the Royals able to recover. Mishikov defended well. She's forced to got the ball knocked loose briefly, but able to recover. Woodbury maintains the attack and a foul. Lob pass into the middle, working her way in. It's Kodal, and she scores. So Ella Kodal with the goal, and the Royals have their first lead. Coming at the 7:40 mark of this first half, and the Royals lead 2-1. The Bears will take their first timeout. Yeah, the replay there, the goal from Kodal that gives the Royals a 2-1 lead here in this first half.
Woodbury goal, scored by number 10, Ella Kodal. Total scoring at 7:40 of the period. Thank you.
The Bears scoring 10 a game, allowing 7. They're looking for their 4th straight win over the Royals. Woodbury, a little bit of a smaller roster, just 18. Just 3 held over from the last full season that we were able to play in 2019. Of course, last year, unfortunately, a shortened season for spring sports. So many getting their first varsity action, some possibly playing competitively for the first time in 2 years. Royals finishing 8th in the Suburban East in 2019. The lights are now fully charged here at the South Campus. Head coach Colleen Cameron of the Bears. Look at the Woodbury sideline. And head coach Ivy Benner, that's her first season at the helm for the Woodbury Royals girls lacrosse team. Well, Kodal scored the Royals goal. She'll take the face-off at midfield. As we are back underway, controlled by Davis. Davis lob pass ahead as the Bears will look to set up deep in Woodbury territory. Kennedy Ashton on the attack for the Bears. Ashton trying to work her way in. Ashton lob pass into the middle, into traffic. Bears able to come out of the mess with it. A shot, they score. As Jensen came out with the ball, able to work some space and scores, and the game is tied at 2. And that comes at the 8:04 mark of this first half. Well, Jada Jensen picks up the game-tying goal, and the Bears have tied the game at 2. You see her clean up the mess out front.
Bears goal, scored by number 2.
Just worked her way out in front of the goaltender Feigl.
Jensen scoring at 8:04 of the period for the Bears.
Midfield face-off. Still loose, eventually controlled by the Bears. Peterson able to work it ahead. Bears looking to push on the attack a little bit. Jensen with the ball. It's Rachel Bridgman now working her way along the far side, and now the Bears will settle and work it around the White Bear net. Bears with it behind the Royals net. Working her way in with a quick shot, and scoring is Kennedy Ashton. As Ashton just able to dump it over the right shoulder of the goaltender Feigl, and the Bears are back in front. 3-2, the Bears go back ahead. That goal coming at the 8:48 mark of the first half. Ashton with 5 goals on the season.
Bears goal, scored by number 15.
6 goals on the season now with that one she just scored.
Scoring at 8:48 for the Bears.
Well, the Bears have their second lead of the game as off the face-off, the whistle blows. White Bear Lake will take the ball back. Ashton works it ahead. Ashton. Woodbury able to steer her to the outside. Ashton. Ashton still with it behind the Royal net. She drops it off. It's Larson with it. The centering pass knocked around, still loose on the carpet. It's able to be picked up by McCarthy for Woodbury, and a whistle. The White Bear Lake got off to the 1-0 lead. Woodbury scored a pair. Now the Bears have scored 2 to regain the lead. We're back underway. The little pass a little bit out of reach, trying to get it down for Annika Melander. Bears will quickly go on the attack and transition with Davis. Davis working her way in, scoops up the loose ball, a shot blocked in front. And the Royals able to clear. Long pass, trying to get on the attack and transition. The Royals slowed down a little bit as the whistle blows. Bears will quickly go on transition the other way as it's worked across by Kunze. Kunze still with it. Kunze now makes a move toward the net, trying to work her way in the middle, tied up in front. An errant shot ends up being saved and pushed wide of the net by the goaltender Feigl. Centering feed in front, having to back her way out of there is Larson. Larson had it right in front at point blank, but a couple of Woodbury defenders forced her to have to carry it out. Bears will set up behind the Royal net. Good defense as it was knocked down briefly by Mishikoff, but able to recover is Jensen. And a whistle. We approach 13 minutes to play in the first half. The Bears 3, the Royals 2. Intercepted in front by Mishikoff. Ball loose. Mishikoff able to pick it up for Woodbury. She tries to work her way free from the White Bear Lake defenders, lost the ball in the process, and a whistle as the players scrambling for it. Out of it, a yellow card assessed for that contact. Try to get more information on that as White Bear Lake will set up behind the Royal net. White Bear Lake leading 3-2. They've got the ball behind the Royal net as it's deflected back out of play. Bears work it around the Royal net. Able to maintain the ball through the contact is Kunze. Kunze still with it in front. Kunze with a shot. And the save made by Feigl. Oh, my apologies. It did get by Feigl, so that'll make it a 4-2 game for the White Bear Lake Bears. Very muted reaction from the Bears and the crowd. Oh, I apologize for that. See Kunze is able to drop it underneath the 5-hole, and that makes it a 2-goal game, the largest lead for the Bears.
Bears goal scored by number 34, Caleb Kunze.
Kunze picks up the goal just past the midpoint of this first half. About a minute past the midpoint of the first half, we should say. Well, the player up goal for the Bears with the penalty to Tooman. Bears control off the face-off. Loose ball, still loose at midfield. Bears able to scoop up the loose change as Daw will work it ahead. Daw then has the ball knocked out of her pocket, but the whistle blows as McCarthy started to make her move upfield. McCarthy able to get it ahead for Kate Hodley. Hodley works it in deep to the White Bear Lake zone. Crossfield pass and then shot high over the net. A great setup by the Royal, but then just sent over the top of the net. I believe that was Bryn Allen who had worked her way in front for the Royals. The Bears will work it back the other way. Ball loose at midfield. That works into Woodbury territory. Able to be pushed ahead by Julie Hendrickson for the Bears. Shot pushed wide of the net. 10.5 minutes to play in the first half. The Bears 4, the Royals 2. Feigl will lob the ball toward midfield. Royals will carry the ball ahead into the White Bear Lake zone. It's Allison Hashka for Woodbury. One of the team captains had centered in front for a shot. They score, and Woodbury cuts the deficit to 1. Centering feed in front for Hodley makes it a 4-3 game. 9:42 to play in the first half. The Bears will have a meeting in front of their net. Hodley worked her way in and has lobbed it over the right shoulder of the White Bear Lake goaltender Cluse, and that'll make it a 1-goal game.
Woodbury goal scored by number 23, Kate Hooley, who is scoring at 15:18 of the period for the Royals.
White Bear Lake controls off the face-off. They'll work it into the Woodbury attacking zone. It's Ashton. Ashton off. The Bears will carry it around the Royal net. Save was made by Feigl there. We have a stoppage with the Royals and the ball behind their own net. Feigl will lob it upfield. Played ahead by the nice job by the Royals. They quickly are able to advance and trying to set up the backdoor pass with Gabby Miller. That's out of her reach. It'll come out of bounds over along the near side. Bears leading 4-3. The Bears will quickly try to advance the ball back upfield out of their own territory. Jensen ahead with it. Jensen drops it ahead for Daw. Daw trying to work her way through the middle, had the ball knocked loose. Ball is still loose. And the Royals come away with it, but they'll look to get some transition going. Long lob pass ahead, and they got it ahead for Hodley. Hodley works along the near side, slows it down. Royals with it behind the Bear net. So we come down towards 7.5 minutes left to play here in the first half. It's Trujillo up high. It's Hashka with it. Hashka will lob it back into the middle. Ball gets knocked loose, but a foul. We come down to 7 minutes to play in the first half. Shots on goal, you see the Bears with 7 and Woodbury with 3. Hashka down on the near side.
Do not chase behind the net.
The Royals with time to settle.
Behind the net. Good double. What's the roll?
Royals able to work their way in front for a shot. And they score, and the Royals have tied the game. That'll be the second of the game for Hodley. We are tied at 4 with about 6.5 minutes left to play in the first half. As Hodley took it on the far side of the net. Piece of it gotten by the goaltender Kloos, but not enough to stop it from going in the net.
Woodbury goal scored by number 23, Kate Hooley.
Well, the little bit of excitement over on that Royal sideline. We're back underway. The Bears able to control off the faceoff briefly. The ball loose, still loose. Will be scooped up by Peterson for the Bears. And Peterson has it knocked off her stick and a turnover. Royals will advance it down along the near side. It's Hodley with it. Hodley works her way in. Hodley lobs it on the near side of the net for Cottle. Cottle will then work it back out. Cottle lobs it in the middle with the centering feed and then shot wide by McCarthy. It's a good setup by the Royals. Got McCarthy streaking toward the net, but just sent it wide.
What's the roll?
It's Hashka will set up. Hashka has the ball knocked loose as it's sent high in the air, and then sent high in the air a second time at a foul called.
Such good positioning. Who do you have?
The Royals maintain possession of it.
Don't chase on the pie. Good work, Shannon!
Royals with it down on the near side. The Bears able to poke it away, and they will be able to escape with the ball. Lob pass upfield for Larson. Larson trying to spin out of the Royals defenders. Larson gets it ahead for Johnson, who scores. Well, the goal scored by Kunze, excuse me, and the Bears are back on top, 5-4. 4:42 left to play in the first half. Kunze able to split those two Royals defenders. Just kind of able to ride them toward the net. Kunze has her second goal of the first half. That comes up the 2018 mark of the first half. So the Bears back on top by 1 at 5-4. The foul was called on the face-off, so that allowed the Bears to get the free run with it. And they will quickly advance it ahead with Larson. Larson trying to drive toward the net. Larson scores. Natasha Larson with the goal, and the Bears back up by 2 at 6-4. The Bears wasting no time off the face-off, rushing in deep to the Woodbury zone. Larson was able to work her way around Annika Melander. Kunze picks up the assist on the Larson goal. Comes at 20:31 of the first half. The Bears 6 and the Royals 4. The Bears match their largest lead of the game at 2. Off the face-off, controlled by Peterson. Peterson able to get it ahead. Bears able to work their way in for a shot that's blocked wide of the net. Royals scoop it up down on the near side. Having it knocked loose briefly was Kodal. Ball still loose on the turf as Kodal ends up on the ground, and that'll draw a foul. It's Kodal. Lob pass in the middle of the field, and somehow was able to sneak that one through, and the Royals will be able to work it into the Bears zone and then taken away. Bears in transition the other way with Kunze. Driving toward the net is Jensen. Jensen will carry it around the Royal net. Centering feed in front. As a foul called as Larson had it in front. Come down to 3.5 minutes to play in this first half. The Bears 6, the Royals 4. Woodbury advancing off the foul. They'll be able to work it across midfield. Head for Allen. Ball loose and then taken by the Bears. Jensen spins away. Jensen drops it down for Ashton. Ashton will work her way into the center of the field with it. Now Ashton behind the Woodbury net. Ashton was trying to get in front for Jensen for a quick shot, just trying to slam it home. Bears forced to back out. Lob pass A little bit out of reach, was trying to get it in the middle for Peterson. We come down toward 2 minutes to play in the half. Loose ball down on the near side will go out of bounds. We go under 2 minutes to play in this opening half. The Bears leading 6-4, but Woodbury hanging right there with them. It's Larson with the ball for White Bear Lake. Davis. The foul called as she was working along the near side hash marks. Another foul called. This might be a penalty coming here. And the penalty will go against the Royals. Sashka will head off, and that will put the Bears a player up here late in this first half. Kisler worked it ahead for White Bear Lake, and then another whistle. Down to 1:16 to play in the first half. The Bears 6, the Royals 4. Kunze forced to back out. Kunze still with it. As we come down to 1 minute to play in this opening half. Centering feed.
1 minute.
A shot that goes wide of the net. It's under 1 minute to play now. 58.4. Shot they score is working her way in, and a nice shot over the shoulder. And the Bears will go up by 3 as Kennedy Ashton just able to dump it into the top left corner of the net. Bears up by 3, their largest lead of the game at 7-4 with 56.3 to play in the first half. Still plenty of time for both teams.
Bears goal scored by number 15, Kennedy Ashton. Ashton scoring at 24:03 of the period for the Bears.
Woodbury controls off the face-off. Mishakov then has the ball taken away. It's still loose and scooped up by the Bears. Lob pass ahead that hit the official. It's bounced backwards slightly. Still controlled by Ashton for the Bears. 35 seconds left in the half. Steamrolling ahead is Sarauer. Elizabeth Sarauer. Scores. Sarauer makes it 8-4 Bears. A little bit of uncertainty about the result of the play. So Sarauer makes it a 4-goal game for the Bears. 29.7 to go. Ellie Sauerauer picks up the goal. The Bears have their largest lead at 4 with 29.7 left to play in the first half. Face-off still being battled for, and then a foul. Davis controls. Davis lobs it ahead. White Bear Lake right back into the Royal zone along the far side. It's Aubrey Bolton, one of those down there for White Bear Lake. Woodbury will get it back across midfield. 3 seconds left in the half. That will take us to halftime. The Bears pick up a couple of goals in the final minute. And they stretch their lead to 4 as we hit halftime here on SCC TV Sports. Thank you so much for tuning in with us this evening. Now we'll take a break and come on back with your halftime summary. The Bears leading 8-4 over Woodbury. Stay with us.
There is a road laid out for me.
Boxes everywhere. And this is gonna be Addie's room.
I am blind,
You're gonna like it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I know this road is there for me. There is a long way.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Ways down by the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
I got this.
I know this road is there for me.
Okay.
If I'm really free, take me down to the river and wash me.
What's more dangerous? A man who isn't afraid of death or one who's found everything to live for? I asked him if he was proud of me. He emphatically said yes, as he laid his pecan-colored head on my chest, and I went through my mind 1,000 times to figure out what that could possibly mean, and every single example ended in motivation for me. So you may not be afraid to die, but I'm more afraid to let them down. And I found something to live for, which is a dangerous motive forever fueled. See, your thoughts may be involuntary, but my actions are very calculated. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. My sons ain't raised by no coward, and they won't be one either. If this be the measure of a man, the yardstick gonna need way more meters. I take it too far, so they never come up short, because I found everything to live for.
Sanjay, you there?
Hey, David.
I'll make this quick. Listen, I have some questions.
What's on your mind?
This vaccine, I'm nervous. I got songs to write. Will I still be able to do that?
It'll be fine, David. Science is what you need. The vaccine is safe, my friend. It's gonna bring this pandemic to an end. You see what I did there?
Yeah, okay, I trust it. Thanks. Oh, and Sanjay, don't do that again.
David? David. I don't know. I thought I was spitting fire.
When I left the military, I was excited for a fresh start, but civilian life has been harder than I thought it would be. Figuring out a new career while also being a good mom, wife, and friend.
Go to your room!
Some days I'm barely keeping my head above water. To get back to enjoying life again, I needed to get help. Opening up to someone was a big step for me. I feel like I'm heading in the right direction. Discover how other women veterans like me have learned to thrive after military service by taking care of themselves and their mental health. Visit maketheconnection.net/womenveterans.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or windy conditions out there, you gotta be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
We welcome you back to White Bear Lake High School South Campus. Girls lacrosse this evening, White Bear Lake leading doubling up the Woodbury Royals after the first half by a score of 8-4. The Bears picking up a couple of last-minute goals in that first half with the Woodbury penalty to extend their lead to 4, their largest lead of the evening. Woodbury, though, has hung tough not only tonight but in general across the last number of meetings. Always close when the Bears and the Royals get together. 1-goal game their last meeting, as we see some highlights. The centering feed for Peterson. That was the first goal of the game for the Bears. And then driving her way in responding was Maggie McCarthy. That loose ball in front able to be picked up by Jensen in traffic. He was able to score, and then the nice little goal from Kennedy Ashton as Ashton just drops it over the right shoulder of goaltender Feigl. Kate Hooley has a couple of goals for the Royals. That leads the way for them. Just driving her way in, just able to fend off those defensive sticks for that goal was Kaylin Kunze. Second of the game there for Ashton. That came right before halftime. And Sauer Hour for the Bears finished the scoring as we're under a minute to go before we get the second half going. 11 shots on goal for White Bear Lake. 4 for Woodbury, but they've scored on all 4 shots. The Bears have 3 players with 2 goals, and Hooley has a pair for Woodbury. Well, the Royals came back from a couple of deficits in that first half. The Bears able to score up some breathing room late in that first half. Scored 4 consecutive goals after the Royals tied the game at 4 in the middle stages of that opening half. And as we talked about, some of these very tight matchups. A 1-goal game. The last time these two teams met, that was nearly 2 years ago. 1-goal win for White Bear Lake, and then a 4-goal win in April of 2018. The teams retake the field. On behalf of all of our crew back in the truck, on behalf of David Schuyler and our entire SCC crew, I'm Patrick Lilia. It's such a pleasure that you've joined us on this cool early spring evening. The White Bear Lakes schedule, they dropped their first 2, but came up with a convincing victory over Bloomington Kennedy yesterday. 20-4 the final score. We are all set to go for the second half, with the Bears leading by 4. We are underway in the second half. The face-off is still loose. Bears trying to pick it up, which they do with Daw. Daw then drops it off as it's carried upfield by Sophie Davis. It's Ashton. Drops it off for Kunze on the near side. Kunze trying to center. A great job to reach out and snag that pass, but the whistle blows. It's Peterson with it for the Bears. Peterson will get the start off the foul. Peterson with a shot, she scores. Bev Peterson picks up her second goal of the game. And the Bears extend their lead to 5 with their 5th consecutive goal. They now lead 9-4. Peterson, just a freshman. It's definitely made an impact tonight. The first goal of the game, and now the first goal of the second half. Comes at 1:07 of the first half. The Bears continue to expand their lead. Woodbury tied the game at 4, but then the Bears now with 5 consecutive goals as Davis controls off the face-off. A little bit of a discombobulated entry, and the Royals will be able to take the ball away. Lob pass down on the near side, able to be kept in bounds. The ball's still loose, and then played out of bounds as Peterson was trying to scoop it up off the carpet. Royals will quickly try to advance. Ball again loose on the turf. It works its way deep into the Bear end. On the near side with it is Hooley. Hooley, who has 2 goals in the game for the Royals. Hooley works her way through the middle. Hooley. Hooley then drops it back for McCarthy. McCarthy lobs it into the middle. The shot they score as it was centered for Kodal, and Kodal has her second goal of the game. And that will make it 9-5 in favor of the Bears. Kodal is able to get it off over her right shoulder, drops it into the bottom right corner of the net.
Woodbury goal scored by number 10, Ella Kodal. Kodal scoring at 2:09 of the period.
Becomes a 2:09 of the second half. We are back underway off the face-off. That's played back into the Bears zone. Bears able to scoop it up briefly. Loose ball on the turf. Bears able to possess it briefly as it's loose on the far side, and the Bears will recover. Lob pass ahead toward Kunze. Kunze tried to make a move, lost it briefly, was able to recover as now she has it behind the Royal net. Centering feed. She got it to Jensen. Jensen has one of the Bears goals in the game. Jensen still with it. Jensen got it off on the far side. Peterson. The shot they score as Ashton worked her way out front, found a clearing in the traffic, and Ashton makes it a 5-goal game once again at 10-5. Well, that comes at the 3:21 mark of the second half. So the Bears the first to hit 10. They lead by 5.
Bears goal scored by number 15, Teddy Ashton. Ashton is scoring at 3:20.
So Ashton with her third of the game. Now with 7 on the season. 8 goals on the season, excuse me. Well, the Bears continue doubling up the Royals. They led 8-4 at the start of the half and now lead 10-5. It's quickly advanced in the middle for Jensen. Jensen forced to back out for the Bears. Jensen. Jensen drops it off on the near side for Peterson. Kunze will wait. Kunze was trying to get it back to Peterson. Couldn't quite get it to where Peterson able to recover it. Peterson lobs it in the middle. Quick shot for Kunze, and they score. A great setup. Kunze was all alone in the middle with just the goaltender to beat, and the Bears have a 6-goal lead. 11-5, that goal coming at the 4:04 mark of the second half. You see on the replay, Kunze all alone in front, able to get that quick shot off before the defender, Tuman, could get there for Woodbury. Kunze with her second goal of the game. The Bears had a good first half, and they're off and running here in the second half. They've already scored 3 times. Off the face-off. It's still loose. Bears able to scoop it up. And they will work it into Woodbury territory once again. Olivia Rust for the Bears. Rust works her way in. Tried to shovel it into the net. It was just pushed wide. Woodbury will come away with the ball off the turnover. Kodal ahead with it. Royals quickly into the offensive zone, needing to get something going in a hurry as McCarthy forced to back out. McCarthy lobs it onto the far side of the net. The Royals will settle. Just over 5 minutes gone here in the second half. McCarthy trying to drive her way in, forced to back out. Good defense from Delaney Kisler. Royals behind the Bear net with it. As Hooley was dancing, tried to center, it's intercepted by the Bears. Along the near side with it. The Bears able to clear, work it back into the Woodbury end. As it's scooped up on the near side by Melander. Melander throwing it into the middle of the field. The Bears will be able to come away with the turnover. Larson working her way toward the net. Larson with a shot saved, is deflected wide of the net. And out of play as we're just past the 5-minute mark of the second half. And the Bears 11 and Woodbury 5. Bears have pulled away after the Royals went back and forth with them in the early going. The game was tied at 4 at one point, and then the Bears have scored 7 of the next 8 goals. The goaltender Feigl with the ball. And she'll look to fling it downfield. And will settle to just drop it off on the near side, or far side, excuse me. I'm thinking more in the near sense that she didn't throw it too far downfield. The Royals now able to work it into the Bear zone. It's McCarthy working her way through. McCarthy sends it wide of the net and out of play. We at the 7-minute mark of the second half. White Bear Lake 11, Woodbury 5. Kodal. Kodal had the ball knocked out of her pocket, able to scoop it back up. The Royals will settle and work it around the net. And poked out of the pocket of Allen as they were working it around the net. Battled for on the near side. The Bears able to come away with it. Spinning her way upfield. And working back with it is... It's worked into the Woodbury zone. The Bears will now settle. They'll set up. Centering pass. Quick shot. They score. As the Bears make it a 7-goal lead with the goal for Riley Daw. The Bears 12 and the Royals 5. They continue to expand their lead. It's Daw from traffic, able to just flip it over the left shoulder of the goaltender.
Bears goal scored by number 10, Riley Daw. Assisted by number 2, Jada Jensen.
Jada Jensen picks up the assist. Comes at 8:16 of the second half. Well, the Bears, who have thoroughly outplayed Woodbury since the middle stages of that first half, when the game was tied at 4. And they have continued adding to their lead here in the second half. Face off, still loose as the whistle blows. Woodbury with possession of it. And they will gain the White Bear Lake defensive end. Lob pass trying to center it for Mishikoff, and the Bears able to knock it away, and then a turnover in front. As Hooley was trying to center it, Hooley ended up with the ball back. As the Royals will set up, trailing by 7 as we hit the 9-minute mark of the second half. The Bears 12, the Royals 5. And a foul as a couple players were going for that loose ball. Zoe Timmons for White Bear Lake. The ball will go over to the Bears. 15.5 minutes to play in regulation. And the Bears 12 and Woodbury 5. Will quickly be worked toward midfield by the Bears. Timmons works it ahead for White Bear Lake. Timmons trying to get through traffic. She's forced to back out. She'll drop it off on the far side. Lob pass toward Kunze as it's off the tip of her stick. Feigl picks up the loose ball. Lob pass down toward the near side. Taken away by the Bears as rushing in is Shannon Furlong. Foul called on the Royals as Furlong will set up with the ball. Furlong toward the net with a shot and she scores. Shannon Furlong scores for White Bear Lake. It's 13-5. Crowd very excited for Furlong to pick up that goal.
Bears goal scored by number 22, Shannon Furlong. Furlong scoring at 11:10 of the period for the Bears.
The Bears leading by 8, 13-5. That came at the 9:10 mark of this second half. The Royals control off the face-off, and ahead with it is Tooman. Tooman on the far side. Tooman working it back toward the middle. She gets it off for McCarthy. McCarthy will get it behind the Bear net. The Royals will set up as we come toward the 12-minute mark of this second half, with the Bears leading by 8 at 13-5 as a foul on the near side of the net. Well, the Bears have outscored the Royals 5-1 here in the second half, and outscored them 9-1 since the game was tied at 4 earlier in the first half. Quick shot off the foul. As Hooley will get the chance to set up. Hooley driving toward the net, will lob it toward the top right corner as it's wide of the net. Royals with it on the far side. Going to work her way in for a shot that goes off the left post. That allows the Bears to work it toward midfield and get it back into Woodbury territory. Lob toward the middle, comes free in front for a shot that was saved in front. They got it in front for Jensen. Comes back behind the end line. We're past the midpoint of the second half. A minute and change. Working her way into the middle and trying to drop it in. Isabella Cuyava, one of those out there for White Bear Lake. The Royals will get going in transition. Speeding ahead is McCarthy. Bears able to take the ball away. They'll play it back around their own net toward the near side. Lobbed ahead for Jensen. Jensen drops it back off for a shot. They score. Jensen able to make it a 9-goal lead for White Bear Lake, 14-5, 10:26 left in regulation. It's been all Bears since the middle part of the first half. Jensen just throws it on the handle side of the goaltender Feidel. Jensen has her second goal of the game. The Bears in complete control right now with 10:26 left to play. They lead 14-5. Face-off picked up by the Bears. Bears back in Woodbury territory with it as they'll work it around the Royal net. Kuyav will work it back around. Timmons. As we get a whistle with 9.5 minutes to play in regulation. The Bears well on their way to winning their second game of the season, leading by 9. More than midway through the centering feed. They score again, and that's 15-5 in favor of White Bear Lake, with the goal for Sophie Davis. The Bears up by 10 at 15-5, which will push this game into running time. Davis just deflected it in off the centering pass. So that counts just the same. Game at 15-53. As we said, with the Bears up by 10, we enter the running time portion of the game. Bears along the left side, far sideline with it. Royals will look to quickly work through in transition. The ball is loose in the White Bear Lake zone. The Bears able to scoop it up, carry it back into the Woodbury end as we're under 8 minutes left to play in regulation. As they will settle in the Woodbury zone, leading by 10. And the Bears got the victory over Kennedy yesterday, well on their way to winning their second straight night. Lobbed on the side of the Woodbury net and a whistle.
Mark up, ladies. Who do you have? Georgia 10. Georgia.
We said a few times the Bears have really controlled this game since the middle stages of the first half. Woodbury had a 2-1 lead, came back to tie the Bears at 4 from a 4-2 deficit at one point. But since then, the Bears have scored 11 of 12, including a 7-goal unanswered stretch, bridging the first half and second half. Bears back in the Woodbury zone with it. Kuyava trying to center as it's knocked away. It comes back to her. She's got it once again. Kuyava will carry it behind the Woodbury net. Six minutes to play in regulation. With the Bears with it deep in Woodbury territory. Worked her way out front, but the ball slipped out of the pocket as she was trying to take the shot attempt. The foul will give the ball to Woodbury. The whistle with a little bit of contact as the Royals are trying to pass the ball upfield. And a penalty will come against the Bears. As Daw will head onto the sideline, Woodbury will go player up for the first time in the game. We are back underway. Under 5.5 minutes left to play. Woodbury with the player advantage. The foul is working her way upfield, and then quickly off the resumption is Tumen. Tumen will carry it around the Bear net with some urgency. Tumen will drop it off for McCarthy. McCarthy working her way in. McCarthy forced to give it off. Tumen. We're under 5 minutes to play in regulation. The Bears leading by 10, 15-5. Bears have outscored Woodbury 7-1 here in the second half. The Bears will be able to clear, trying to get it ahead for Kuyava. It's out of her reach. Picking it up deep in her own end for the Royals is Mishakov. Mishakov down on the near side, forced out of bounds. Woodbury will quickly try to get play going again as the ball knocked out of bounds once again. We come down toward 4 minutes left to play. Pass ahead scooped up by Kodal. Kodal trying to get ahead for McCarthy. McCarthy fended off, forced to back out. Lob pass for Kodal and a great save out front. The shot in on Klus, and she was able to knock it away. Bears able to recover the Royals come back with it, back to McCarthy. McCarthy gets it off toward the far side. The Royals will settle as we come down toward 3 minutes left to go. And a foul called. It's 2 men on the far side. Two men off the resumption, another immediate whistle. This game a little bit of an outlier from some of the previous meetings. The quick shot was saved by Klus off the resumption of play, and then a whistle with action behind the White Bear Lake net. It's Woodbury will carry it around the Bear net. It's Kodal with a shot, goes wide. Woodbury picks it up back behind the White Bear Lake net. Let's set back up with McCarthy. McCarthy trying to spin away, defended well. She'll get the screen set up. McCarthy fouled as she is trying to drive, and we're under 1:40 left in regulation. It's McCarthy. Quick shot, that goes wide of the net. Bears able to come away with it. Turnover in front of the Bears net. Still loose on the carpet, eventually controlled by the Bears, who are back at full strength. This is lobbed back across midfield. We come down toward 1 minute to play.
1 minute remaining in the period.
Next game for the Bears will be Friday when they take on Irondale here at White Bear Lake High School. This is the Bears' home opener. They'll have their next 2 here at the South Campus as well. As we come down to 40 seconds left to play, the Bears leading 15-5. Have really dominated this game since the middle part of the first half. Woodbury will head home. They'll take on Creighton-Durham Hall on Friday. The Bears advance the ball quickly into the Woodbury end with 10 seconds left to play. Shovel pass, quick shot. Goes wide of the net from Coonsey as the game will come to an end. White Bear Lake with a dominant performance in the second 2/3 of the game. And they get 3 goals in the game from Kennedy Ashton, and they defeat Woodbury by a final score of 15-5. For David, back in the truck, our wonderful cameramen and technicians here on site, I'm Patrick Lilly. It's been such a pleasure to be with you from the South Campus of White Bear Lake High School. The White Bear Lake Bears defeat the Woodbury Royals by a score of 15-5. They outscore the Royals 7-1 in the second half and 11-1 after the game was tied at 4. We will catch you soon from a field or arena near you. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight.